Well, welcome everyone. Jeff Barnes here, CEO of Angel Investors Network, and I got my good friend Greg Ryder and Justin French. And Greg is the CEO and founder of LaunchCart. Now, we were trying to show a little video here about the event that's coming up. So let me see if I can play that now.
I've been pitching for about 2 years, and Angel Investors Network, they taught me how to pitch.
The training that they have given us and knowledge that they have provided and the experience is truly invaluable. I can't suggest Angel Investors highly enough.
They figured out how to get me together in 30 days.
AIN went above and beyond to make sure that I was prepared to pitch.
They take you, regardless of what level you're at. Is it a brand new executive summary? Is it a brand new idea? Or are you further along, kind of like I was? So if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, you're thinking about starting a business, this is where you want to be.
How do we just continue to surround ourselves with good ideas, good people, and ultimately help advance our company? And that's exactly what Angel Investors Network does.
We couldn't have done it without Angel Investors Network.
All right, so here we are. So Greg, Justin, welcome. How are you guys today?
Loving life, man. Loving life.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really excited about this upcoming event, and obviously LaunchCart is coming, and we're going to be talking about some deals that LaunchCart's doing, and really get into what it means to acquire, scale, and exit businesses. And so, Greg, for anybody who doesn't know who you are, why don't you give them a little quick background on who you are and your history?
Oh, I got like a 15-minute sizzle reel I can play for that.
Oh, well, lovely. Let's go ahead and do
I'll go. No, I was born into a wealthy family. My parents got divorced when I was 2 or 3 years old. And then my rich dad taught me how to invest when I was 19. I got my securities license when I was 21. I bought the firm I worked for before I turned 22. Was hailed as the youngest owner of an investment bank in the history of the country. Went on to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. And it started Angel Investors Network in 1997 and acquired this nickname of the entrepreneur's best friend because I love entrepreneurs. I love inventors. I love people who are trying to make the world a better place. And now I am an entrepreneur, build my own billion-dollar unicorn and watching Jeff take Angel Network to a whole nother level. So I appreciate Jeff and what he's doing, but I'm excited to be a part of everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, we've raised tens of millions of dollars for startups, but there's something unique and different about this event that I think people are going to really find exciting, which is we are going to show people how to acquire existing cash flowing businesses, scale them up, and exit them for maximum profits and value. And we have Justin right here. Justin is the CMO of LaunchCart. Justin's been running advertising and managing campaigns for companies and scaling them up. So, Justin, why don't you give everybody just a really quick background on yourself and who you are?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So, I bootstrapped my way through business school running an IT consulting firm from 2000 to 2010. Grew that to 300-400 clients and made $1 million in 5 years. But unfortunately, I only netted $50,000 in that business and profit, right? And so one of the key words there is profit. And then so I transitioned out of IT back in 2000 into digital marketing. And so for the last 14 years, I've been doing digital marketing, worked at billion-dollar credit unions, worked at biotech startups. I took a T. Harv Eker's company, Peak Potentials, from kind of a minimal online presence to maximizing profit and registrations and filling his events and selling products. And so, just, super excited about the event coming up in Nashville. It's been a while since I've been there. I love Nashville. There's a great lineup of speakers, so make sure you check out, the other speakers that are featured there. But I've just been an entrepreneur on and off for the last 20 years. I love entrepreneurship, rolling up the sleeves, getting things done. But to Jeff's point, it's all about, profitably, right? Profitability is a key word there. So thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like I said, we're going to be bringing LaunchCart there. So the LaunchCart team is going to be there, and we're going to be showcasing some of the technology with LaunchCart and some of the acquisitions that LaunchCart is in the middle of as well. So, Greg, why don't you talk about some of the things you're really excited about when it comes to this event and just acquiring businesses and growth through acquisition?
No, I appreciate that. So one of the things I'm so excited about is I literally have been raising money for early stage startup companies my entire career. I'm 62 years old, and I started getting involved with Jeff and looking at businesses to buy. And my new thing is buy EBITDA, like buy EBITDA. Like seriously, I love the idea of real estate, and real estate's a great long-term hold if you can go through the fluctuations. My dad actually lost over $15 million in net worth because he got caught in a down market building a 25-story high rise and leveraged everything to build the high rise, and the down market took him out. And 2 years later, everything turned around, but he didn't have the money to hold on. So I've seen all these different things, but there's something about buying EBITDA and buying businesses. And we're in an interesting time in life where right now I've heard numbers as high as 7 trillion and as low as 3 trillion, but let's just say 3 trillion. I can't even fathom trillion, but $3 trillion worth of businesses are going to be sold in the next 10 years from baby boomers, from people that have a 20-year-old business, a 25-year-old business, a 15-year-old business, and they're time to retire. They don't have any people to turn, they don't have any siblings or whatever. They got to sell their businesses. So when there's more businesses coming on the market than people can buy them, you can find super, super amazing, great deals in what you're doing. So the idea that you can buy EBITDA and you can make returns that are unheard of. And again, we'll tease a little bit. We're going to talk at the event about how a $4 million investment can buy $1.5 million worth of EBITDA. Okay. $4 million investment can buy $1.5 million worth of EBITDA. You do the math and figure out what that rate of return is, right?
It's pretty good.
Exactly.
It's actually really good. Yeah. And one of the nice things about this is that, when we're talking about buying EBITDA and buying these companies, we're not talking about buying a job and operating them, right? I think a lot of people get worried about this. Like, I don't want to go buy a job, or I already have a job, or I already own a business, or I already own several businesses, or I'm retired. Why would I do this? What would be the benefit of me getting into this world of buying companies when I'm already, retired? I'm already got all the money I need, or I've already, running businesses. Why would I do this? Well, the reason you do this is because, like Greg was saying, you're buying EBITDA, you're building generational wealth, and more importantly, you're going to have other people operating the business. Now, Greg, I'm curious, when you hear that, what are some of the thoughts that come to your mind as far as what people should be thinking about or envisioning when we talk about buying EBITDA and not running a business?
Well, one of the things that you and I had put together over the years was that DVRS method of investing. And the DVRS method of investing is this philosophy that you have to have the right deal flow. You have to know how to vet a deal. You have to have a Rolodex where you can put the pieces in place to 2x, 3x the business. And you have to know how to structure the deal. So all those components are what's going to be shared at the event that Jeff has spent years putting together. And of course, I've been there along with him alongside. But when you understand how simple these concepts are, and then you start to figure out what lane you're in, then you can figure out which way to go. And Jeff and I, we look at it like this. You think about going, okay, why would you buy a business you can't scale? Why would you buy a business you couldn't run? Like, we don't necessarily want to run it, but if we had to run it, we're probably going to buy a business we could run. And then you got guys like Justin, and you say, okay, I want guys like Justin who can help me scale the business, right? Justin, he's in my Rolodex. I know him, I trust him, I like him. Hey, Justin, what would it take to scale this business? Go look in there and look at everything they're doing and go from a CMO's perspective, how optimizes their business, and could we take their business and optimize it and scale that business, right? So these things you need to know how to look at, and this is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really excited about, being able to showcase this entire process to people, because as we do this, as we teach people this process, you're going to see that it's overwhelming when it comes down to, okay, I've got to find the deal, then I've got to vet the deal, then I've got to structure a good deal to put it all together, then I've probably got to go get the capital rate to get the deal, and then let's just say all that works out, right? And you're talking about a capital stack is what we call it. It's not a tech stack anymore. Now we're talking about a capital stack. Where are you getting the money from? How are you getting the money? How are you closing the deal? Then once you've done that and you get to closing, how do you actually make money at closing? And this is one of my favorite things we're going to be talking about, is how do you take some money off the table at closing And we have a really unique structure to do that. We can show you how to do this so you can actually get money back at closing and put money in your pocket. But then now you've bought a company. Now you have payroll and HR and technology you have to deal with and operations and marketing and all, like, it becomes overwhelming. And so to Greg's point, showing you how to work together with a team just like ours to help scale a company up, because the goal is not just to buy a company. The goal is to buy a company, make it even better, and then put more money in your pocket. Anything to add to that, Greg or Justin?
Yeah, I'll just say to Greg's point of view, you got to know what those levers are, right? There's key levers, right? So companies drown in data, but they starve for insights, right? So once you identify what those key insights are for that business, typically you can pull those levers, and really the 80% of your revenue can come from 20% of your tactics potentially if you get the right levers. So yeah, that's the main takeaway for me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Greg, you're going to be talking on stage a little bit. We're actually going to do a little panel about scaling up companies, and maybe we can tease a little bit about, some of the things that you and I have gone through with scaling online companies using digital marketing.
You know what? I happen to have a screen, like I just got done doing another presentation. I'll tease him with this one. This is mind-boggling. And see, now my computer, my laptop crashed. I'm working on an old desktop that barely runs. It's not letting me do it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There we go.
Well, while Greg is pulling that up, stick around, watch this. And in the meantime, go to angelinvestorsnetwork.com/events. Just click on the events button. You'll see the information there. Get your tickets today because we are at the lowest price and they're going to be going up very soon.
So Jeff and I and Justin, we came from this Dan Kennedy direct, school of marketing, right? And we believe in this concept that whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer wins, right? But let me show you we always talk about what's possible. And let's talk about what's possible. Here's a screenshot where we invested $1.5 million of our own money to generate 121 million impressions and 2.5 million clicks, right? And again, people go, why would you do that? Because we're doing it profitably. We know how to run ads and buy media profitably. And that generated 208,000 orders. And this was in a 7-month period of time from January through the end of July. And for generating $9.1 million. That was just one of many accounts where we were just driving millions and millions of visitors, millions and millions of dollars. Here's a screenshot where we started December 18th and we had to pull the plug because we were selling stuff from China, which we don't do anymore, but they had the Chinese New Year, so we had to pull the plug because we couldn't get delivery of our stuff. Here's another store we had, 2 million in sales, 1.1 million visitors. And so that's really what we're talking about as far as what's possible is we know the levers because we've done it. We've spent the money. And we weren't like an agency running other people's. It was our money, me and Jeff's money. Like this was our dough. This is our credit cards. So we got really, really good at knowing the levers and what to spend. So, and that's the other thing too. And I love this analogy. I'm going to go full screen. So I love this analogy. If you're a guy that flips houses and you buy houses to flip houses, I don't know if this to be true because I don't flip houses, but I've seen this, right? And it's like, we want to buy the ugliest house ever. We want it to be ugly, the yard overgrown, and we want doors broken and windows shattered because they know they can fix it up and they can buy it at such a great price that they know they can fix it up and they can really make a great return on their money. Think about that same thing with the business. If I go into a business that's making $4 or $5 million a year, it's been around for 20 years, and I look at it going, God, they're not doing this. They're not doing this. They're not doing this. They're not doing this. This isn't optimized. This isn't automated. This isn't. And you just know, we can 2x this business by just optimizing it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm excited about sharing and getting everything going with what we're doing.
Absolutely. And the other thing to add on to that, right, is that you're not buying problems per se, right? We don't want to buy problems. We don't want to buy a business that's broken, that's not making money. We are buying profitable businesses that we can make more profitable. Okay. And there's this word and this term out there that many people may not be familiar with, which is called a roll-up. And a roll-up strategy is when you buy a number of different similar types of businesses that you can then put together and roll them all up. So you roll the revenues and the profits up. And so you might have 10 businesses doing $1 million a year in profits. All of a sudden you have a $10 million profitable business. Guess what? The multiples increase on that. You can sell them for a lot more. And because of economies of scale, you can start creating that $1 million in profit per each company to maybe 1.5, $2 million in profit. And you've exponentially grown the value of your portfolio. And so that's a lot about what we're going to be talking about. I can't wait to have this event in Nashville. Greg, Justin, any last thoughts or ideas before we jump off here?
I got one for you on this thought of money rules, right? So, in real estate, Grant Cardone, he buys multifamily units, does not flip, does not buy individual homes, does not buy land, does not build. He buys multifamily units, right? He's got his money rules, right? And the same thing with buying businesses. So Jeff and I, we've got our money rules going. We're not even going to look at a business that doesn't have a minimum of $500,000 EBITDA. And we typically want to see at least $1 million of EBITDA, right? Because then we can do the numbers with structuring debt, working with investors, working with OPM, and doing structures as we're having that extra money that puts the money in our pocket at closing that you didn't have. So I just can't wait for people to learn this and understand the money rules of buying and selling businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the final thing I'll say, Jeff, is, make sure you do your due diligence, right? Like due diligence is really critical. And then the second thing I'll say is, like, you don't know it till you live it, right? And like clearly Jeff and Greg and myself and all the other speakers that are going to be there, like they've lived it, right? Like they can speak to things very intelligently. And so it's going to save you a huge learning curve, right? So you're really getting like a mini MBA course here at the event. So super excited about the event, and thanks for having Launch Cart and myself part of it, Jeff.
Absolutely. And for all of you who are out there watching it, even if you're watching this on a replay, you have until May 29th to get to Nashville. It's going to be an amazing event, over a dozen speakers talking about this process of buying businesses and building wealth at the Business Wealth Summit hosted by Angel Investors Network. Again, go to angelinvestorsnetwork.com/events to get more information and to sign up and get your tickets today. Tickets are starting at $297 for all 3 days. It's an incredible deal. And the networking that you're going to get while you're there is going to be phenomenal. So again, can't wait to see you guys there at the Business Wealth Summit in Nashville on May 29th through 31st. So Greg, Justin, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, guys.